All right. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Yes. I'm not used to seeing you here this early. Jamie,
I'm not
thank you
used to
for
being
joining
here
us.
this early.
You're like, I'm tired.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Everybody had good weekends? Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We hope that you all had a good weekend as well. Thank you so much for joining us for KARE 11 News at noon. There's a lot to talk about, including getting families prepared for a very busy week of MEA travel, what you need to know to avoid those slowdowns.
Yeah, some good tips there. And happening right now, postal workers are starting to picket in Minneapolis what mail carriers are asking for to help them get their jobs done.
So much happening. And let's talk about this weather. I feel like fall just came in, knocked on the door and was like, hello, here I am.
Well, everyone has that sign on their door says, hello fall, and fall answered back abruptly with some pretty strong winds the past couple of days, but they have tamed down, but now is the after effect, and that is the cooler and colder temperatures. 46 right now, feeling like 42. The winds certainly not as blustery as what we had over the weekend. North winds at 8 miles an hour right now. That dew point down at around 32 degrees. And you see, looking ahead, there's not much of a warm up heading into the afternoon. We're going to be under quite a bit of cloud cover. We should see some low 50s around the Twin Cities, and we'll find plenty of 40s as we look to the North Country. Let's look ahead to tomorrow morning because it's going to be another cold one. We do have some 20s into parts of western and northern Minnesota. Many of us will be near or below freezing. Around the Twin Cities, expecting some frost, at least some frost. We're going to watch for more freeze warnings as we go through the day, but right now those are kind of centered up into northwest Minnesota. But overall, for the next couple of days, inevitably the growing season will be coming to an end. I'll let you know though when we'll have a nice warm up in the next few days.
Jamie, thank you. Let's go ahead and take a live look now from Thomas Beach at Brahma-Costco, where just about 7 hours ago, there was a sunrise ceremony honoring Indigenous Peoples Day. This is a tradition.
The way that we are today, it requires transformation.
And what you just heard there is a tradition to remind Minnesotans that the Indigenous people have always been here, and there's continued strength within the urban Native community.
It really felt good to see all the people here coming together and supporting what we do as Indigenous people. We practice this way for generations, and now it's still getting stronger.
Non-natives also attended the ceremony to learn a little bit more about the history of the 11 Native nations that share their geography with Minnesota. This is the second official Indigenous Peoples Day in the state. Now, just a reminder for you, most banks are closed today, but you can use online services and ATMs. Trading markets are open as well. And the post office is also closed, but if you need to send something, UPS and FedEx are open. Government buildings are also closed, like the DMV, library, courts, and offices as well. So even though the post offices are closed, mail carriers are really busy. They're picketing in Minneapolis right now, calling for a new contract. Here's a live look at that demonstration happening at the main post office downtown. Cece, you're covering this developing story for us. What can you tell us?
Yeah, we know too that a situation like this happened just a couple of weeks ago. Postal workers around the country, including in Minnesota, rallied for more support from the United States Postal Service. Union members picketed outside of the Eagan Postal Service for over 2 hours over staffing levels and unnecessary delivery delays. Now, right now, you just saw that live picture of the picket. Mail carriers are outside the downtown Minneapolis post office on South First Street. Union leaders say they've been working without a contract for more than 16 months. They're asking for higher wages and better working conditions. Here's the local union president on the recent decline in delivery times and the reduced staffing levels.
The pandemic showed how important the Postal Service really is. We help bind America together. The American people deserve better. They deserve their Postal Service back.
Now we know the Postal Service is essential around elections too. Officials say the Postal Service and the union have taken steps to ensure your election mail is on time.
So it's definitely clear that workers want more, but what do lawmakers want for workers?
Yeah, it's a great question. Actually, there's some stuff happening with Minnesota delegates in D.C. right now. They want more for the workers too. It's become a bipartisan kind of issue. There's been harsh criticism about USPS over the years. They're asking for audits and also more working conditions that suit workers better.
We'll definitely have to check in on those details.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cece. And opening statements are now expected to start this Thursday in the high-profile murder trial of Adam Fravel. Jury selection is taking a little longer than expected. So far, 10 people have been chosen. which means they still need to select 7 jurors, including alternates. Frable is accused of killing the mother of his children, Maddie Kingsbury, last year and hiding her body. Her remains were found 68 days after she was last seen. St. Paul police are investigating a shooting between 2 postal workers. It happened yesterday inside of a post office near the intersection of 7th Street and Alaska Avenue. One man had multiple gunshot wounds, and so far we don't have an update on his condition. Police do say that they did arrest the suspect during a traffic stop about an hour later. Well, if you can believe it, we're just more than 3 weeks away from the election, and a new NBC National News poll shows that the presidential race is deadlocked at 48%. Alice Barr has more on the campaign's ramping up as November 5th closes in.
As the presidential nominees pick up the pace on the campaign trail.
With your help in 23 days, we will win.
We're going to win Arizona, and we are going to defeat Kamala.
A new NBC News national poll of registered voters shows the race in a dead heat at 48%, indicating a slowdown for Vice President Harris after her popularity surged in the last NBC poll following a September debate. The poll points to a deep gender gap, with Vice President Harris leading with women by 14 points.
One of the things that attracted me to her is that she was smart.
And former President Trump ahead with men by 16 points.
He's worked hard, he's created jobs, he's built businesses.
Margins remain razor thin in the critical battleground states, and on the issues the former president is seen as stronger in handling the economy and immigration.
You know what I did? I called them up. I said, close the border.
While the vice president gets a boost on reproductive rights, campaigning in North Carolina, she highlighted her newly released medical records, including her physician saying she's in excellent health, putting the pressure on Mr. Trump.
He refuses to release his medical record.
That as federal authorities are investigating a new potential security threat. A man with guns in his vehicle was arrested Saturday, stopped at a checkpoint about a quarter-mile from former President Trump's rally site in Coachella, California. A federal law enforcement official said there was no indication this was an assassination attempt. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
By the way, an important election deadline is approaching right here in Minnesota. Tomorrow is the last day to register online to vote on Election Day. Voters who miss that deadline can still register in person at an early voting location or at their polling place on Election Day. Well, it's MEAU Conference Week, when educators gather and students get a couple extra days off with their families. They're always excited about that. And MSP is already gearing up for an influx of travelers. Michelle Beck joins us with more on how construction in and around the airport could change your route.
Already, families are counting down the hours until their long weekend. MEA weekend starts in less than 72 hours with a lot of travel expected. Remember, the drive to get to the airport may take extra time. 511 Minnesota gives us the best view over impacts of traffic from construction. Watch out for major work on 494 between Bloomington and Mendota Heights-Eagan, with ramps like this one from Penn Avenue closed. MSP officials say to expect these closures whether your flight's on a weekend or at night. Well, passengers flying out of Terminal 1 should also watch out for construction inside the airport as well. I've got some updates for you in the next half hour.
Michelle, thank you. And minutes ago, NASA launched its largest spacecraft ever built from Florida's Kennedy Space Center. It's called the Europa Clipper, and its destination is an icy moon of Jupiter. Scientists think the moon is one of the best bets in the solar system for sustaining life. The 1.8 billion mile journey will take more than 5 years.